Welcome everyone. I'm Mary Claire Russell, Head of Go-to-Market here at Squiz, and today we're exploring how content editors and marketers can rapidly launch web pages with Squiz's Web Visual Page Builder. In today's digital landscape, waiting weeks or months to build pages or test campaign ideas is simply not viable. We're here to show you there's a better way. Whether you're a veteran marketer, a content specialist, or a developer with mountain tickets, this webinar will demonstrate powerful tools to overcome quick web page deployment changes. I'll be your moderator, sharing insight from Squiz's 26 years of working with service-driven organizations. Today's presenter joining me is John Efter, Senior Product Manager for Experience Management here at Squiz. John and his team build Squiz's DXP's new visual page builder, which we'll be demoing for you today. Just a bit of housekeeping before we begin. This webinar is being recorded and you will receive a copy via email within the next day. Please submit any questions into Q&A window located at the bottom of your screen and feel free to submit questions at any time. John will be answering the questions at the end of the session. So, in today's demonstration, we're going to talk about a scenario that many of us face on a regular basis: launching a campaign or a project within a tight time frame with limited resources, and specifically how your site needs to support that. In the last 17 years I've been working in comms, marketing and digital teams, I've lost count of the number of times we've had to meet impossible deadlines or switch a campaign at a moment's notice. And let's face it, marketing, digital and development teams need to be adaptable and be able to pivot at a moment's notice, which sometimes to pull off what can be seen as a simple but urgent change to a campaign page or a site. Let's be honest, your website isn't just a channel, it's the command center of your entire digital ecosystem. And at Squiz, we want to be able to help marketers like Tina, that we'll speak about later in the demo, hit their website goals without diverting resources from our developer friends and pulling them off more complex work. When speaking with digital teams here at Squiz, we know that the struggle is real and they're a challenge that comes up time and time again. The first is building a campaign page, microsite or website can be really complex and costly. It often needs developer help, which can significantly lower and slow down how you can get to market, as well as increasing our expenses and budgets. The second is that we often don't know what's working. Marketing teams need to understand which content performs best, but sometimes implementing A/B testing without technical expertise is challenging. This often leads us to using third-party solutions, creating inefficiencies and tech bloat. Another really common challenge is that it's hard to personalize web pages. Like A/B testing, personalization often requires a developer's assistance. Our customers need to see relevant content and teams need to have simple tools to segment audiences and personalize content for customers. And finally, without a good system that brings it all together, you end up editing content in multiple places. Using multiple CMSs and third-party tools often means content editing, optimization, and personalization happen across different platforms, if at all. This complicates works for distributed authors and makes it difficult to govern and maintain brand consistency. Now I'm going to hand you over to John, who will demonstrate how Squiz's Visual Page Builder addresses these challenges. Welcome, John.
Great, thank you. As MC mentioned, these are challenges that come up time and time again, so we built the new Visual Page Builder to tackle each of them. Page building can often be a complex and costly exercise that requires developers' help. But what we're doing with the Visual Page Builder is reducing that developer reliance. Content editors can build pages really quickly by dragging and dropping pre-built components onto the page. Components are things like hero banners, accordions, image embeds, and calls to action. From there, editors can add content to those components directly on the page with a really intuitive interface. Now, these components do need to be built by developers during the initial setup of the page builder, but this enables your content teams to build on-brand content independently without any ongoing day-to-day support from your development team. Non-technical editors are also able to optimize their content with data-driven insights. We've built A/B testing right into the visual page builder so that content editors can run experiments comparing two versions of content to learn what works best to enhance user engagement and increase conversion rates. We've also got intuitive personalization tools. Directly within the editing interface, content editors can tailor content for specific audience segments without developer support, ensuring your customers are shown the content that's most relevant to them. And maybe best of all of these tools are in one place. The visual page builder brings content creation, optimization, and personalization together, meaning your content editors get the tools they need to build brilliant on-brand experiences all in one place. This goes a long way to help streamline their workflow and increase speed to market. Now let's take a look at the specific features of the visual page builder that help combat these challenges and enable non-technical content editors to build fast without relying on developers. As I mentioned earlier, content editors can get started fast with pre-built components. These components, which are built by the development team, ensure brand consistency while giving editors creative freedom. So your developers set the guardrails once, then your content teams can build on-brand pages independently without ongoing support. We've also introduced inline editing, where content editors can add, remove, and update the content directly within a high-fidelity preview of the page. What you see as a content editor is exactly what your visitors will see. There's no need to toggle between multiple browser windows to edit and preview content any longer. As was mentioned on the prior slide, we have built-in A/B testing and personalization. Content editors can create A/B tests and personalize content for different audience segments directly within the page builder, so there's no need to switch between different tools. You can also utilize Gen AI content tools to instantly improve page copy, adjust tone of voice, and generate variants for personalization and A/B testing, all with pre-configured Gen AI prompts set by your administrators. We've improved the speed and performance of the page building experience across the board. The editing experience is highly responsive and loads previews and editing interfaces quickly. Less waiting means faster content publication and lots more time for other tasks. And finally, we've introduced search capabilities to the resource browser. This allows content editors to quickly and easily search for images, files, and assets to add to their pages. This is an enhancement designed to boost efficiency, allowing users to build brilliant experiences fast. Now, to set the scene for the demo, let me walk you through the scenario that MC mentioned previously, featuring Tina, a marketing manager who needs to launch a campaign in just 2 weeks. First, Tina needs to define her goals and target audience, and she's going to focus specifically on young business owners between 25 and 30. Second, she develops her campaign strategy and content. She's going to address common pain points while demonstrating how her agency helps clients save time and scale their business. Next, she chooses her channels and conversion points, specifically TikTok for distribution and a landing page to capture leads. Then she goes on to build and personalize the experience, tailoring the content for her TikTok audience while maintaining a default experience for visitors from other sources. And finally, she implements testing, tracking, and optimization methods using A/B testing and user journey mapping to maximize results. I'm now going to jump into the demo to show you how Tina can approach steps 4 and 5 using the visual page builder without development support. And one moment here while I share my screen. This is a pre-recorded demo of a demo that I put together last night. So I will share this momentarily. Excellent. And I will get this kicked off. Here's our landing page. I've added some content ahead of time for purposes of the demo. This gives us a good starting point to review some of the features of the visual page builder that make it possible for content editors to quickly build pages and meet those tight deadlines. I'm started in build mode. This is where Tina will conduct most of her editing activity. Within the preview area, we're highlighting the component borders with dotted lines, making it easy for any content editor to locate the component building blocks that comprise the page. Inside of those components, there are additional underlined text areas indicating the field is available for editing in the preview interface with our inline editing feature. Next, I'll jump over to the page outline. Tina can navigate through the page using the components listed in the page outline area. Here, she clicks the single column component, and the preview area scrolls to that same component. You may have noticed the blue outline appearing around the component in the page outline and preview area, giving an extra visual indicator that reinforces the relationship between those two sections. If I scroll back into our preview area and hover over my component, you'll see the capsule appear in the upper left-hand corner. There are some additional controls available here. Clicking the double chevron opens the component fields in the page outline. These are all the fields that comprise the component. Edits to the single column component can be made within the preview area or within the fields of the page outline, giving our users more options. Next, I'll use inline editing to modify the event heading. I want to slightly change the heading from future-proof strategies to strategies that last. So I simply click into the field that I want to edit, and I'm free to start changing content. And I'll add in my new text, strategies that last. And with that, the change has been made. If we jump back to the page outline and look at the component fields, you'll notice the update has been reflected in the corresponding field, keeping everything in sync across both areas. I'm happy with the title change, but I do want to make one more change to the component. Returning to the capsule in the upper left-hand corner, I'm presented with our quick options menu. These are configurable settings that will change the display of the component. In this case, I'll adjust the position of the text from the right to the left of the component. I simply select my new option, click apply, and we'll see the component refresh. This is a great way to keep content editors working directly in the preview area and streamline the content creation process overall. Part of the new campaign targets our TikTok audience. We can quickly personalize the featured event as a way to entice the audience to register. Using the personalization menu at the top of the screen, I can choose a segment that will receive our customized content. In this case, I'll select the TikTok campaign. We see a few visual changes to the page indicating any new components that were added will only appear for the selected audience. If I go back into our component, we'll notice there's a new icon that appears within the capsule area. Clicking the plus button will allow us to add our TikTok campaign content. Next, we're given a dialog that presents a few options for creating that new content. We can duplicate the existing content, add a new component, a new text area, or choose to leave the field blank. In this case, we're going to duplicate the current content. Again, there are some visual indicators that show we are working with personalized content. There's a purple border around the component in the preview, and the page outline showing the changes we're about to make will be visible to our selected segment only. Next, I'll show how our Gen AI content tools can transform our content. Since we're targeting a younger audience, I'll be using our Gen AI rewrite tool to make the text sound more casual. So I highlight the text within my formatted text area that I want to transform, and I can go up to the toolbar and select my content tool. In this case, I'm rewriting to sound more casual. So my highlighted copy has been pumped into the content tool, and there's a transformation happening right now. And I'll take a look at the content that was returned. And yes, this does look more casual. So I have the option to copy the block that was returned, insert it after my highlighted text, or choose to replace it altogether. In this case, I'm going to select the copy option, and I can close my window. I'll return to the component, highlight the text that I want to place, and copy the new content in. It looks like I lost some formatting, so I can go ahead and use the toolbar in my formatted text editor to add in the bullet points that are needed. With a couple clicks, I can go ahead and make the changes that are needed. And with that, my content looks good. I feel like there's something missing, and I feel like Tina would want something more for her customers. So let's add some more visual differentiation to this piece of personalized content. I'm going to replace the image. So I can go ahead and click on our custom action. This is the change image button that's appearing above the in the upper left right corner of the component. I can go ahead, click that button. This is going to open our resource browser. So along with the Visual Page Builder release, we've added powerful search capabilities to the resource browser, making it easy to find images and assets to include in your pages. In this case, I'll click on the search button at the top, and I'll insert the term photo. I do already have a list of photos that are appearing. This is because the resource browser is defaulting to the location where my currently used image was from. We're just going to skip over that and look at the search feature. So I'll add the term photo up here in my search bar and click enter. And this has returned my search results. So we have 6 images with the title photo that was returned. Over in the left-hand side of the resource browser, we have configurable facets. These will allow me to narrow down the search results that have been returned, so I get to a reasonable amount. I'm dealing with a reasonable amount right here, which is great. The center area does have the actual photos that have been returned. And if I click on one of these, you'll see the right-hand side populated with the thumbnail and some metadata about the image. This looks more appropriate for my TikTok campaign, so I can go ahead and click select. And the images is going to be added to the component. So I've got my personalized content set up and ready to go. Let's go ahead and preview it. From the upper toolbar, I can drop into our preview mode and move out of build mode. This removes the page outline and it presents the editor with a view of the page as the customer would experience. My audience is already selected for the TikTok campaign, and you can see the featured event contains the targeted content that we just created. I can also use the personalization menu to select the default segment and view the page as any user would that's not part of the TikTok segment. So I'll make that change now and click apply. And you can see that the page is refreshed and we're viewing the generic content for all audiences that fall outside of that TikTok campaign. So we've made it easy to build a page and personalize. At this point, Tina's free to go ahead and publish the content. I'm going to drop back into preview mode and talk about a few more things that Tina can do. She can also optimize the page for better results. Just like personalization, A/B testing is built right into the interface. She can set up, create the content, and execute her test from the same screen, which is a huge time saver. I'll go ahead and quickly configure an A/B test like Tina would. I think I'm curious about the effectiveness of our customer quote that's appearing in this block quote. So I'll click on that component, scroll down to that area of the page. So A/B testing is simple to set up. I'm going to go ahead, click on our A/B testing menu at the top of the page and add an A/B test. I do have an available A/B test that has been set up. and I'll connect that test. I'm looking at variant A right now. This is our control. I'm going to go ahead and select our variant B. And this is going to give me the option to set up that A/B test content. You can see there's a similar visual indicator that we saw for personalization. The new content will only be added for variant B. I'll scroll over my component where I want to add this test, and you can see a similar icon. If I click the test button, I will include this component in the A/B test. So I'll go ahead and do that. And I'm given the same options. I can duplicate the current content, add a component, add text, or leave it blank. In this case, I'm going to hide the content for our B variant entirely. I'll click continue. And after the page refresh, you'll see that quote is no longer appearing. We are viewing the variant B of the page right now. You can see the blue highlighted border indicating that that component is being hidden. If I switch back to my A variant, you can see that our quote has returned and our A/B test is set up and ready to run. To help Tina optimize her campaign effectively, she can also use our new user journey mapping tool to track the campaign journey from end to end and identify where users are dropping off. This will help her strategically target her A/B testing efforts on the areas that need the most improvement. Now, we won't go into the details of that use case today as it's separate from the visual page builder, but we do have a demo that you can check out on YouTube. Excellent. I made that demo recording and I'm well versed with the features, but it's definitely exciting to see them as a spectator here today. And I hope that came across to everyone attending as well. I think there's some really cool features that we've tucked into the page builder there. So let's go ahead and talk about what's up next. The changes that we demoed, they're really just the beginning. We have a roadmap full of other enhancements that are going to continue to improve the page building experience. I also saw we had a few questions come through in the Q&A while that demo was running. We'll definitely get to those at the end here. So next up, we're moving on to layouts and templates. So content editors will be able to significantly speed up the creation of complex multi-column pages without messy code or cumbersome workarounds with these features in place. You can save templates for your commonly used page types like blogs or newsroom articles, and it makes spinning up new pages with the preferred structure easier than ever. For those with multilingual sites, we're adding support for the management of language variants directly in the page builder. Instead of managing separate pages for different languages, you'll have all of your translations in one place. This is actually a feature that we looked at when we were building out the original visual page builder. So we have some of the concepts already and ideas of how we want to execute this, and it's going to be coming up on the roadmap a little bit later this year. The roadmap for enhancements keeps on going with version history and rollback, so our editors will be able to see exactly what has changed between different versions of the page. And if anything goes wrong, they're able to just roll back, republish, quickly reverting to the version that they want to see. Also coming soon is the ability for content editors to resize images within the asset browser that's included in the page builder. We're building this functionality right in to make your workflow as seamless as possible. We really want to reduce the need to jump into other tools like Canva to complete some of those resizing tasks. And finally, we're expanding our core component library with new out-of-the-box components. These include card carousels, maps, testimonials, statistics blocks, and more. This library really empowers you to take the components, make any customizations needed, and start building web pages with them right away. So in summary, with the visual page builder, your content editors are able to build pages in minutes with an intuitive no-code interface. You can personalize, A/B test, and use AI content tools, all without jumping across screens. Your site admins can maintain brand quality at scale with built-in governance tools. And all the while, you're freeing up your developers to focus on more complex projects. So how do you get started with the visual page builder? To be able to use all the features that were demoed today, that includes the inline editing, personalization, and A/B testing, you'll need to be on the Squiz SaaS DXP with these capabilities set up. First is the component service, and this is for building and managing your page components. We need you to be using components on the edge and that are configured for the inline editing. Customer data platform is going to be used for creating audience segments for personalization. And optimization is going to be used for configuring and managing your A/B tests. Once you have these prerequisites in place, we can enable the visual page builder for your instance. And our suggestion is to reach out to your account manager to discuss your setup and timeline for enabling the visual page builder. And MC will be joining me now. Since we do have a few questions in the Q&A list, I'm happy to start to tackle some of these and get some of your questions answered.
Thanks, John. That was a fantastic demo. And as someone who's used Visual Page Builder, it really has made a difference in terms of how quick we're able to get pages out to market. We've actually got quite a few questions here. And the first one is, hey, John, out of curiosity, how long would it take a non-technical content editor to build a page like this?
Yeah, that's a great question. We tested this in our beta program where we had our account managers and marketing team get involved and get their hands dirty building pages. They're all non-technical users and were able to build a custom landing page in under an hour. They were working in one of our beta environments, working with a set of 6 components as building blocks for the page. But they sourced all of their own original content, pulling their own images and copy together. The content sourcing may have actually been the biggest effort and the most time-consuming thing as part of that page building process. But the pages really do come together quickly. Once you have those components in place, you really have those building blocks that you're creating the pages from. And it was great through that process. I learned a lot about all my coworkers as they built out pages that reflected their personal lives.
Yeah, I saw there was a few people had built them with their children. I think there was a few page wars happening there of who could get the best page. Some of it was really interesting as well. So just going on to our second question here, John, how does the visual page builder and the inline editing enable workflow approvers to focus on changes or compare before or after versions?
Yeah, that's a good question. We don't support that visual diff for highlighting of changes right now, but it's definitely something that we're investigating for the upcoming version history and rollback feature that I mentioned in one of the roadmap slides. And that kind of visual difference that we want to show within the pages, that can definitely be applied to the workflow that's happening within the page builder as well. So definitely a roadmap item and something that we will get to as we continue to put enhancements and work into making the visual page builder a better experience.
Oh, that's fantastic. Looking at the next question, it's coming from Tom Barnett. Thanks, Tom. Is there any image, we've covered some of this, that any image editing, resizing, or optimization that's going to be in the platform?
Yeah, again, another roadmap item that we are investigating. We know we want to put more of that image sizing directly within the page builder and resource browser interface. It's kind of a bummer to step into a different section of the tool or a third-party tool altogether to do that resizing and optimization. So our aim is to really bring that more directly into the page building interface and put it at the fingertips of the users as they are creating their content. The nice thing is we have like that preview in the visual page builder. It would be great if the content editor could go from build mode into preview mode, see that an image isn't going to work, immediately go back to build mode and use some of the resizing features there. So definitely a roadmap item for us and something that we will get to shortly.
Fantastic. And another question that's come in here is around components. You mentioned them in the demo, and we've spoke about them previously. You did mention the component library. Can you share more? Would love to know how I can get started with components.
Yeah, there's a couple way to get started with components. We have the DXP core component library. So this is a set of 30 components that we're able to download to your instance of the DXP. And they're really the building blocks that you can start working with today. There's a wide range of components in that collection. There's banners, pull quotes, image galleries, accordions, really probably 85% of what you would need to build your typical web page. So it's really a fast track way to get started with the visual page builder and components. Really, all that you need is some time of a front-end developer to help apply your own branding and styling to those components that you've downloaded. And it's a really quick way to get moving. Again, back to the roadmap slide, we also have 13 more of those core components that we're building out and that will be available as well.
That's fantastic. Thanks, John. You took us through some of the pages that you've built today. You mentioned some of the pages that our colleagues built, but what type of pages can content editors build with Visual Page Builder? And can we get a preview on how a page would look on different devices and screen sizes?
Yeah, definitely. For that first one, so what types of pages can you build with the page builder? This is really anything that you can imagine on your site. This could be the homepage, a campaign page, landing page, all the way down to things that have kind of longer form content or articles. Really, the page builder can accommodate all of those different styles of pages. And like I mentioned, the core component library has a set of components that could be used across all of those pages as well. So it's really kind of wide open. It can be used across your entire site. And for the preview of how sizes would look on different devices and screen sizes, I think this was part of the demo, but we do have in the live edit preview area, we do have the ability to adjust the width of the preview so you can take a look at your page that you're building and see what it would look like across multiple breakpoints, multiple device types. We also have enhancements slated for that feature too, where we want to allow an organization to go ahead and designate certain screen lists and have those in a drop-down list so the user doesn't have to worry and mess with the slider. They can just select the different breakpoints for their organization that they'd like to view that page at.
That's fantastic. Thanks, John. We've had a question come in from Mailing Gregor, but I think you've answered it in your previous question. It's just around like the pages being mobile friendly and items becoming extremely large. I think have you considered that a lot of mobile users and 80% of traffic is mobile. I think we've covered that in your previous question, but is there anything that you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, I'm reading through this one more time to make sure I have everything here. Some items become extremely large and it doesn't stack up properly. I think with the components, like we are really looking at how these are going to behave across different breakpoints and making sure that that's compatible with mobile and desktop as well, and incorporating some of that mobile first attitude into how we're looking to build out these components and make them available.
So a question that's come in from Tom Barnett. Thanks, Tom. Got a couple from you. It's great. Is there any drag and drop reordering of content blocks?
Yeah. Another good question. And I think that's something that I missed in the demo that I didn't show. We do have the ability to drag and drop reorder those components that appear within the page outline. There was like 6 little dots that appeared on the left-hand side of the component in that page outline. And you can just grab into one of those and drag your component into the new position that you want it to appear at within the page. Definitely a super simple process for us to do. And yeah, it's available there. I might go back and update my demo to make sure that we're showing off that feature.
Fantastic, thank you. Another one from Tom. Improved HTML sanitization of pasted content in the text editor.
Yeah. So we are bringing a new formatted text editor into the page building experience. This has a much richer set of formatting controls compared to what we had in our legacy page building experience. So we're excited to have all of those more robust controls, like the ability to drop into source view, add tables, all of those sorts of things. We do want to keep on expanding the functionality of that formatted text editor. And I think HTML sanitization and making sure that we're getting a really clean paste of content from whatever system that you're working in into the page builder is gonna work out great and not add any additional artifacts or things that are going to mess up formatting. So we do have that item on the roadmap to go ahead and continue to improve that formatted text editor, and that improved HTML sanitization is one of the items that's on that list.
We've got a question that's come in here from David Wallace. How easy is it to customize the styles to tailor the output to your company's style guide?
Yeah. So this is a relatively easy process with the core components that are downloadable from the DXP. We have training material and all kinds of documentations on how this can go ahead and happen, and that's something that we can provide links to after the webinar here. But this is a pretty simple process, like no backend development required. This is just a little bit of a time from a front-end developer to take those components and go ahead and apply whatever styles from your organization that need to be applied.
That's fantastic. Thanks, John. And to everyone who's attending, we will send out the links that John's mentioning as part of the follow-up. Norman Go, how does the page builder and new components work alongside existing pages that use matrix component templates?
Sorry, could you repeat that question one more time?
So how does the page builder and new components work alongside existing pages that use matrix component templates?
Yeah, so those old pages, the standard pages in Matrix with the CCTs, they can sit alongside of our new content pages that are built with the visual page builder. They can sit alongside each other in your instance. You can have a mix of standard pages and content pages. Even the components that are built for use with the visual page builder, those will work with the standard pages that have the CCTs on them as well. So no real compatibility issues with these things sitting side by side. The content pages, they're my feature and kind of my baby. So I really encourage everyone to use content pages, but I realize there are cases where standard pages and the older way of building things in Matrix are going to work for some organizations and some of the use cases that are out there.
We've got quite a few questions to get through, and I don't want to keep everyone really past the 45 minutes. So we'll just answer a couple more questions, and any of the questions that we actually haven't got to, we will provide answers to in a follow-up communications. So the next question that's come through, John, is why would I choose Squiz's page builder over another competitor or solution? Can you share some points of differentiation on the new feature?
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a great question. I think that like today's or the page builder, the demo that we just looked at today, it really offers that streamline interface versus like lots of different fragmented tools for bringing your experience together. So rather than needing to like jump across your page builder, your A/B testing platform, any kind of personalization you have set up, it's all together in one seamless interface for you. And definitely it's a low code, no code experience. Like non-technical teams can work more efficiently with everything that they need in one place. There's less need for that developer support to do your typical content publishing and what you want to do to optimize and experiment with your content that you're putting out there. I think that the real-time preview that we have, that ability to bounce back and forth between build mode where you're building the page and get a view of it as a customer would and really see what it's going to look like for all the audiences that you've created, whether it's personalization or an A/B test segment. I think that's really powerful and definitely at the fingertips of the content editor as they're building the page experience. And the final thing, I think that like this is really fast to get set up and start, especially if you're using those core components that we can enable as the DXP is set up. It makes it so fast to get started, have the building blocks that you need to start creating pages really quickly.
Thanks, John. Just time for one or two more questions. Are these components on Squiz Marketplace only compatible with Squiz DXP, or can they also work with Squiz Matrix CMS?
They are compatible with both. All of the components that have the features that enable the inline editing, definitely backwards compatible with Squiz Matrix. So they can be used in both locations.
Fantastic, thank you. Another question that we're just going to squeeze in before we finish up. Can there be health checks on these pages before going content authors? So just summarize it. Can there be health checks on these pages before a content author publishes, such as expected page speed, load speed, or image size?
Ooh, that's a great question. We have some like accessibility auditing tools that we're looking to bring back into that page building experience. And these type of health checks are something that we want to go ahead and include as we're bringing back those accessibility auditing tools as well. So definitely something that we're looking to bring into the fold as we move forward and continue to enhance the page builder.
Okay, we actually have got 4 or 5 more questions. Maybe we could just squeeze one last one in, and then we'll let everyone go. When is the session on how the A/B content success is measured? Is it analytics within Matrix, or do we need to use GA4?
Yeah, that is a great question that I would go ahead and defer to the team that is more familiar with the optimization tools and how all of that is wired up in the back end. So maybe that's
We
a
can answer
question
it
that we can go
after.
ahead and follow up on.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, thanks so much for your time today, John. Thank you for everyone who's joined us online. We do have 4 or 5 more questions that are in the Q&A and in the chat panel. We'll answer all of the questions that we've provided today in the follow-up email, and we'll also answer any of the questions that we didn't get a chance to get through to. So, you know, what we want to do is just thank you for joining us. And what will be coming up, we will send you a copy of the recording. If you've got any more questions, or if you can think of anything after you've watched this video or has ended the webinar, just reach out to your account manager, or you can email us at ask@squiz.net. And don't forget, if you haven't already, sign up for our latest updates via our Squiz newsletter. Thank you for everyone joining us today. Thank you, John. You've done an amazing demo and really excited to see what comes next.
Thank you.